when you look at like male role models, that's what I like to tell guys. Look at the character of God. Just read the Bible. Look at the character of God.
Yeah.
If you want to know what a man's supposed to be like,
Yeah.
emulate the creator.
Yeah.
You know. So when you're counseling guys and you're hearing where their struggles are, like, do you see that the struggles are because they're adopting a secular worldview on what masculinity is and what a man's supposed to be, or are they just not able to emulate the characters of God and seeing that as in a man? Because men, we like to have examples. That's why people love to pedestalize a lot of these content creators, because like, I want to be like this person or this person, right? But I look at it as like, okay, I want to be like the character of God, and according to the scripture, this is how his character is. And is it harder for them to grasp that, or are they like, what is the struggle there?
That's a great question. I always refer to 1 Corinthians 13, and wherever the word love is, put your own name in there. It's such a basic exercise, but I have it in front of me right now. George is patient. George is kind. Really? George does not envy. He does not boast. He is not proud. George does not dishonor others. George is not self-seeking. George is not easily angered. And this is really very convicting for me to read, because to me, that's the real template for love. And I'm not just commanded to love a woman, sexually. When we think love, we think of like a woman or a girlfriend. I'm commanded to love everybody, to show love to everybody, not just to a woman. So you can't be an asshole in your life in this area and then love a woman properly. You can't turn that on and off. I think coming from a place of love and joy is important from the minute your feet hit the floor in the morning. It's just important. Everything from commuting to work and you're at an intersection, I am the guy that's like, go ahead, like that. I give people a break when I drive. I come to an intersection or something like that, and I am just a classic believer in, give a break, get a break. And there's times where I want to kind of like merge into traffic and someone says, go ahead. And I just like smile, because I know that's how I operate. I'm like, go ahead. And I just think it all comes back to you, when I went through a little heartache this year, man, it hurt like hell. I was like, son of a bitch, man. Here I am at my age going through this shit. It bummed me out. And I was working with men who were going through heartbreaks. And I'm thinking, okay, what can I teach them? I can only teach them that which I have practiced. That's it. What I'm not going to do is teach men one thing and then live life another way. I'm not going to teach about being a peaceful man and then be punching holes in my walls or cursing my woman out or something like that, So I think it's like Jenny says, and I encourage you to watch all of my interviews with Jenny. Just, it's life-changing. As a matter of fact, eventually, before the end of this year, I'm probably going to do a video on how a dying woman taught me how to live.
Wow,
it's that profound. So, but she talks about suffering a lot, and because she's suffering. Here's this woman with a charmed life, a husband that makes good money, 6 children, a beautiful home, a housekeeper. The whole thing. A great life. And here she is receiving a death sentence. So as a thinker, she's had to think about suffering as a Christian and what is it doing for her? And she's really great at talking about how suffering makes us more Christ-like. All suffering,
Mm-hmm.
all suffering does. And, you know, when I went through my heartache earlier in the year, I was angry, I was sad, I got cynical, I almost put it in reverse and went backwards. You know, in the past, my reaction to this stuff was turn my bedroom into a revolving door and just numb the pain with sex. Some people drink, some people use drugs, and I would just go somewhere and bring a woman home or go back to her place. And that's how I lived my life for a long time. And it was a secret life. It was not something that I was very proud of. So when I hear about men talking about picking up girls and game and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea. While you're sitting there writing your latest whatever, I was out there doing it and not theorizing it. So that's why a lot of manosphere and red pill, men's development arena stuff, to me, just makes me chuckle a little bit, you know, to be honest with you. And it's entertaining. But that's all it is. To me, that's all it is. I mean, if you find a good, solid, charismatic guy as a role model, you're going to do okay. You're going to do fine. And with the ladies, you know, you find a mature, virtuous woman to learn from. Women. I mean, I know we talk about, you know, the girls' club, but mature, virtuous women love to teach younger women. They love it. They love it. And, you know, when people ask me, like, who are your clients? And I say, you know, I work with mainly men because I believe men should be teaching men and women should be teaching women. And the ladies love that. They love that because what can I do? How can I teach a young woman? I do have some young women that follow me that would DM me for several years now. They're looking for husbands. They want to be a mom. They don't know what to do. You know, and I've tried fixing some people up, some of my subscribers and things like that. And I don't think it has worked at all. I kind of did experimented with the arranged marriage kind of thing. Never really worked out. Although my grandparents had a arranged marriage. So that's not very foreign to me. I literally had grandparents that had an arranged marriage and stayed married, you know, until my grandfather died. And then my grandmother remained faithful to him until she died many years later. I mean, That's a concept that is just like that's, you know, women are usually on a dating site a week after the husband dies, man. His body isn't even warm yet. He's in the ground.
Well, it's not even cold.
And the joke is like, I used to say this all the time back in 2017, 2018 on Twitter. I go, if you die, which one of your friends is going to escort your wife to your funeral? And boy, that created some problems with some people. But the reality is this: I am one who, like I had told my girlfriend, I said, if you died, I would remain single or enter the priesthood somehow, some way. And that's what I would do. And I always wanted to be a priest. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a priest, and then puberty hit. And I'm like, not so much about that priesthood thing. And
let me lay hands on you.
and then I turned 60, and then I thought, you know, that priest thing sounds pretty good right about now. So, but that I also too was celibate, and that gorilla was kind of controlled. And now the gorilla's out of the cage at this point. It's just after 3.5 years of celibacy, admittedly, I want to rock and roll, man. I want a boogaloo. And like I said, I'm only 63 from here up. So, but regarding regarding staying married, and then I asked her, I said, would you stay married or stay married to me, stay faithful to me if I died? And she didn't blink. She says, I would not remarry. I would not remarry. And I thought that was interesting. And I'll tell you who's really good at talking about that is Father Josiah Trenum. He's an Orthodox priest. And he did a video. You want to check it out. His channel is called Patristic Nectar. He's probably the most famous modern Orthodox priest. Now, my mother is Russian Orthodox. I come from a very ethnic family. Father's Italian, 100% Italian. Mother is 100% Russian. So I grew up with a really interesting combination with arranged marriages and traditional stuff. And the Orthodox Church is very dear to my heart. But Father Josiah Trenum did a video on Patristic Nectar that's called When a Spouse Dies. And he gives an exhortation to the surviving spouse, like, don't be so fast to fill that side of the bed. Like honor your husband by serving the Lord forever and not bringing another man in your life. And that's hard for a lot of people. That's very difficult. But it's something I believe in. It's something, to me, it's almost like a vetting point. If I met a woman who said, oh yeah, I would look for a new husband in a minute, or like I would grieve for a little bit, then I'd look for a new husband. I'd be like, I don't think this one's for me.
Well,